Okay, raise your hand if anyone has ever said, oh, I was just really lucky, or I just happened to stumble in the right place at the right time. Yeah, right? We've all heard that, right? Well, today I hope I don't stumble in my heels, but we've all heard that time and again. And 68% of people surveyed mentioned that they believe in luck. But luck is just such an abstract concept. And I was always very fascinated with luck because I saw that people that were lucky just kept getting lucky again and again. And I wanted to take a step back to think, is there like math behind this? Is there like some sort of proof behind this? And the most plausible explanation that I was able to come up with was a very, very interesting mathematical concept called probability. We all know how probability works, right? The more you work towards something, the more likely you are to achieve your desired outcome. The more you study for an exam, the more likely you are to score higher. The more you practice your guitar, the more likely you are to get better at it, right? But if I know that the outcome I want is success, what do I do here to make sure that it translates into success? And I'm pretty sure if I bottled that answer and sold it, I'd be a billionaire. But anyway, I think I have found 4 very interesting principles that have worked in my life. So about 1.5 years ago, I knew nothing about the nutrition space or the science behind nutrition. But today, if you ask me to talk to you about fiber, I can talk to you about it for hours and hours, but don't worry, my TED Talk is not about fiber today. But it's been a journey of really showing up in different places and using a little bit of luck. But the luck didn't come, it was manufactured with these 4 principles. Number 1 was hard work. And I know we've all heard it time and again, like work hard and that's how you get to where you want to get. But when I started this journey of starting my own business, I hated hard work. Hard work was boring to me. It's something I've grown up listening to all the time. But then I realized that there's actually 2 different ways to approach hard work. There's work you like, and there's work you don't like. With work you like, it's easier to work hard because anytime you feel like you don't want to work hard towards something you like, remind yourself of why you started in the first place. And that helps you go back to working harder. But then with work you don't like, how do you work hard? The one thing that works for me is incentivizing. I know that if I take an extra step or if I go an extra mile, then I know that I'll probably get 15 more minutes of screen time or an extra cookie snuck into my diet. So incentivize yourself and be kind to yourself because the harder you work, the luckier you get. The second principle that has worked very well is really setting a vision. What is your goal? What are you working hard towards? Do you know what that is? And the best way to really check if your vision works is if you can explain it to a 5-year-old and they can understand it. Can that 5-year-old clearly understand that you want to be the greatest entrepreneur in the world, or that you want to be a pop star, or that you want to be whatever your goal is? If anybody around you can understand, and if you can clearly articulate what your goal is, then that is your vision. And now that we've got the second step, vision, all sorted, comes the third step, which is planning. And now you really need to work backwards. So now we know that we've got the motivation to work hard, and we've got the vision that we know we're working towards. So now we just have to break it down step by step. Because we know climbing a ladder is only one step at a time. So now, I know that I want to be the world's greatest entrepreneur. So I'm going to look at what is the step right below being the world's greatest entrepreneur. Is business growth? What is the step right below business growth? Is probably me replying to a couple of mails, me probably going an extra mile to an event, maybe me even doing things I don't like doing, like looking at a balance sheet. But all of these little steps, if I'm able to define it, and if I'm able to plan it, and if I know that today this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it, then that will help you get closer to that goal. The way I do it is I like to block time out in my calendar. If I've got 5 priorities that day, then I really like to look at what are the things I want to work on first. And the fourth step, which ties all the other 3 together, is dedication. It's not motivation, it's dedication. There's a quote where they basically talk about how if your job is to eat a frog every single day, then you start your morning by eating the frog. But if you have to eat 2 frogs every single day, then eat the bigger one first. It's very difficult to stay motivated and to really dedicate yourself to what you do. But the truth is, you never know that if you've attended 9 events and nothing has clicked and nothing has happened, that 10th event might be your eureka moment. And you never, ever, ever know until you go that extra mile and you dedicate yourself and you push yourself just a little bit harder. What really sets successful people apart from people who are on their journey of being successful is that they don't give up. Rejection is something that just comes and goes. It's like traffic. It'll come now, and then you know it'll pass by, and then you know the journey is going to be a lot more smoother. But it's just about how do you stay resilient just those little tiny times. And that's why it's so important we come back to probability. The more we try, and the more we sort of do different things, something might just eventually click. And that is so, so important that we always look back at that. But the truth is, it's all easier said than done, right? Like, how do we actually sit down and make sure you work hard, make sure you know what your goal is, and make sure you're doing all these 100 different things that is on your to-do list that you want to do? There are 2 things you need to remember. We are all humans, we're not perfect, and there are some things that are in your control that you can do, some things that just aren't in your control that you can't do. And we've all got very, very limited time. So it's super important that we only focus on what is in our control. What is not in our control, there is no point thinking about it because it's just going to eat your time up. And we don't want that. We want to eat frogs every day. So that's why it's so important that we really look back at what is in our control and sneak that into your planning diary. Like, make sure that whatever bottlenecks you have are clearly defined as well, so that you understand that in between, if there are any gaps you want to take, then take it. And again, we're all not perfect human beings. If there are days where it's just not working, where it's just not happening, where your screen time is 7 hours, 8 hours, that's okay. Be kind to yourself, take a step back, and look at, well, where am I going wrong? Why is my screen time up 7 hours? Why am I not just able to get to that task that I want to get to? And in places like that, what has helped me is asking for help. There are people around you, in this room today, in your life, in your family. There's always people around you. It's all about just reaching out for a hand and asking that I am not able to do this, or I'm not able to cope with this. How do I deal with it? And it's really the more you articulate where you're not able to progress is how you kind of understand where you can even find a solution. So I want to do a very quick, simple exercise, because all of us have a book anyway. Write down a goal that you want to get. Like, it can be any goal. It can be you want to be a senior manager, you want to be a pop star, you want to work in a fast food chain, anything. You don't need to think about how realistic or unrealistic the goal is. Just write down one goal that you really want to get to. Now, think of what is stopping you from achieving that goal. And is it something like finances? Is it something like economic distress? Or is it something like I have kids? Then take a look at what those bottlenecks are. Now, if that bottleneck is in your control, then there is always a solution to it. There is always help that you can get around it. So now look at that bottleneck and see how you can get help to make it happen. Now that you know that whatever might come in your way of that goal is out of the way, now look at one actionable step that you can take today, right now. If you want to be a pop star, What is one thing you can do today? Practice your music a little more. If you practice 30 minutes every day, practice just 5 minutes extra. And you'll see what a whole world of difference it can make. If there's something you do every day, and you know you spend X amount of time, just spend X plus 5 minutes. And that can make such a big change. Because for me, luck happened because I just kept showing up. And it can for you too. Thank you.